Bloody hell! We need to have a serious powwow about your stock portfolio. Statistically speaking, most of you are doing worse than a blindfolded chimp throwing darts at the Financial Times. The chimp cannot read. The chimp cannot see. The chimp does not know what a PE ratio is. The chimp is outperforming you, mate. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why your stock picks are failing, why the people with actual money do not invest the way you think they do, and the exact system they use instead. No fluff, no jargon, just the blueprint that separates the wealthy from the wishful. Let us start with the uncomfortable truth. Stock picking is a losing game. Not sometimes, not for most people. Statistically, exposed as useless by data, exposed by math. There was a study on the best performing portfolios at a major brokerage. You know who won? Dead people. Literally, deceased customers. They outperformed everyone because they stopped logging in, stopped trading, stopped having opinions. The optimal strategy is to be dead. That is how bad you all are at this. Gnarly stuff, mate. In 1976, John Bogle created the first index fund. Wall Street called it Bogle's Folly. They laughed. 49 years later, index funds hold over $12 trillion. The professionals who mocked him, still underperforming the thing they said would never work. And here is the part they do not tell you. 64% of funds just vanished. Merged, closed, poof. They did not send you flowers. They did not apologize. They just quietly buried your money in the backyard and changed their name. We are not catastrophic capital anymore. We are Phoenix Rising Investments. Fresh start, no relation. Please forget everything. It is witness protection for bad performance. Now then, let's say you ignore everything I said. You pick stocks anyway, fine. You still have a bigger problem. It's you! The S&P 500 returned 18% in 2025. You, maybe 8%, not because of fees. Because you panicked, you got excited, you had feelings. Your feelings don't give a damn about portfolio performance, mate. This is called the behavior gap. The difference between what the market returns and what you actually take home. And it is not small. According to Dalbar, the average equity investor has underperformed the S&P 500 for 15 consecutive years. Let that stat sink in, like your stock portfolio. Here's what happens. Market goes up, you feel optimistic, you buy more at the top, market drops, you panic, you sell at the bottom, rinse and repeat until broke. The FOMO cycle. Fear drives selling at bottoms, optimism drives buying at tops, movement destroys returns. Write that down. Break the habit before it breaks you. So if stock picking does not work and your behavior makes it worse, what do the wealthy actually do? I'm glad you asked, old sport. They build architecture, not portfolios. The ultra-wealthy do not just diversify across stocks, they diversify across strategies. 80% of their money is boring. Index funds, real estate, it sits there, it compounds. They do not touch it. The other 20%, that is their playground. Private equity, venture bets, speculation. If the playground burns down, the house is still standing. That is the core and satellite model. You have 95% in equities and call yourself diversified because you own Tesla and Nvidia. Mate, that is not diversification. That is the same girlfriend in two wigs. When one dumps you, they both dump you. You are not hedged. You are hopeful. Different strategy. Here is how you build yours. First, decide your split, the core and satellite ratio, 80-20, 90-10, whatever lets you sleep at night. The core is untouchable. The satellite is your sandbox. Warren Buffett manages billions. You know what he told his wife to do with the money when he dies? Put 90% in an index fund, 10% in short-term bonds, 90-10, core and satellite from the oracle himself. But sure, you and your Robinhood account know better. Second, diversify your core. Not just across stocks, across asset classes. The 40-30-30 framework. 40% in broad market equity index funds, 30% in real assets. REITs, commodities, real estate exposure. 30% in fixed income and cash. Adjust based on your age and risk tolerance, but the principle remains. Your core is diversified. Your core is boring. Your core is what makes you rich. Mark Cuban sold Broadcast.com for $5.7 billion. You know what he did with most of it? Index funds. The man who made billions from one brilliant bet looked at stock picking and said, "Never again, too much stress, just give me the average." Third, your satellite. This is your playground. 10 to 20% of your portfolio, individual stocks, sector bets, crypto, alternatives, whatever scratches your itch. If you're going to pick individual stocks anyway, at least do it here, in the satellite, where if you blow it up, your core is still intact. You have not ruined your retirement, you have just paid tuition. Expensive tuition, but tuition nonetheless. Special delivery. I have received a letter from your future self 20 years from now. It reads, "Dear past me, I know you think you're being clever. You're not. That stock you're about to buy, do not. That stock you are about to sell in a panic, hold it. Actually, forget individual stocks entirely. Just buy the index and go outside. Touch grass, learn pottery, do literally anything else. The $1 million you are about to lose through overconfidence could have been a beach house. I'm writing this from a much smaller place, in a worse location, with creepy neighbors, all because you could not leave things alone. Signed, you. But sadder and with less hair and a bad case of gout. Powerful stuff. Anyway, back to the blueprint. Right then, you have your architecture. Diversified core, tactical satellite. Now comes the part everyone ignores. Maintaining it. Your allocation will drift. Stocks rip and bonds sit. Suddenly your 80-20 is 65-35. Your satellite ate your core. You went to sleep an architect. You woke up a degenerate gambler. Except the casino has better odds. And free drinks. Here is the system, the drift protocol. Define your targets, core, satellite split, and asset allocation. Write it down and review it monthly. Initiate a rebalance when anything drifts 5% or more from target. Fund the underweight first. Satellite ran up? Great. Your new money goes to core. No selling, no taxes, no drama. You rebalanced without triggering a single taxable event. You are welcome, mate. Tax optimize when you do sell. Do it inside your tax-advantaged accounts first, your retirement accounts. No capital gains triggered there. Save the taxable account for last. And if you have losers in taxable, sell those. Harvest the loss. Get a tax deduction while you rebalance. Turn a chore into a benefit. Now here are the rules that keep the architecture intact. Rule 1. Never let your satellite exceed 30%. If your stock picks run hot, and your satellite grows past 30, harvest gains into core. You do not get to let your gambling habit take over the whole house, mate. But rule 2, satellite losses do not get refilled from core. If you blow up your satellite, it stays blown up until you earn more money. You do not raid the retirement fund to chase redemption. That is how you turn one mistake into two. Rule 3, core is untouchable. If you don't have satellite money, you do not make the bet. Simple. Rebalancing means selling winners to buy losers. Every fiber of your being screams, no, keep the winners. And that instinct, that gut feeling, it has cost the average investor approximately $1 million over 2 decades. Your gut is not an investment thesis. Your gut is an expensive toddler with access to your brokerage account. Stop listening to the toddler, mate. Let us recap what we have learned. The Stock Picker Delusion. 92% of professionals fail. You are not the exception. The behavior tax, the gap between what the market makes and what you take home, is the most expensive tax you pay. The 1% portfolio architecture. The wealthy allocate across asset classes. They do not pick stocks. They build systems. The rebalancing protocol. Have a target. Stick to it. Automate if you cannot trust yourself, which you cannot. 10 years from now, there will be 2 portfolios. One belongs to the bloke who built a core, funded his satellite, followed the system, and never touched it. The other belongs to the bloke who read every headline, traded every emotion, and called it being engaged with his investments. One of those portfolios is worth 5 times the other. It is not the one that required more effort. The game rewards discipline, not activity. Pick your side. Subscribe if you enjoy being called out with a British accent. Hit like if you want the algorithm to bruise someone else's ego. Drop Drop a comment with your most confident stock pick so we can all revisit it in 12 months. I'm building a museum of optimism. Admission is free. The exhibits are devastating. This has been the Wealthy Gent. Until next time, stay wealthy, stay wise. And for God's sake, remember, your portfolio does not need your opinions. It needs a restraining order. 50 feet minimum. Stop touching it.